Welcome in for another edition of On the Tee. I'm Anita Marks, and we've got a new face joining the show. John Mascari cannot be here with us tonight. Why? Well, he's shooting 76s at Whistling Straight. How about that? He shot a 76 at Whistling Straight today. God bless you, John. We all wish we can be you on the golf course. But David Bearman joins us. David and I work together at ESPN. He oversees all our gambling content at ESPN. So, David, we're thrilled that you're joining Christina and I. Christina, of course, CEO, owner extraordinaire of Golf for Her. As I always say, in order to play well, you've got to look great, and you can at Golf for Her. David, welcome in. How you doing?
Good. As you see, I played Whistling Straits once. I had a 76, but I had about 5 holes left to play, so I couldn't stop at 76. So good for John for doing that. Awesome course. I'm glad he's having some fun out there, and thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Christina, look, I like his setup. I like it.
It's
David.
Show off.
I know. David came ready for the show. You got to love it. As always, at the end of the show, we'll answer any questions for you. I'm really excited. Obviously, this is the second major of the season, so we're really pumped to get into it. Trey Wingo is going to make an appearance on the show around 7:30 tonight in about, where are we at? In about 25 minutes with his picks and his plays heading into the PGA Championship. So we're thrilled about that. Again, we do miss John, but the show must go on. As always, we start the show with our show drink, and Christina, our golf mixologist, puts together a drink that correlates with where the tour is at right now. And we know that they're just a stone's throw from Charleston, South Carolina. So with that being said, what's your show drink tonight?
So the name says it all. It's called Lushy Lemonade. All right. Lushy Lemonade. It's 2 ounces of Firefly sweet tea. If you've never had this before, you must go out and buy a bottle of it. This show is not sponsored by it, but it should be because it's awesome. And then it's just 2 ounces of lemonade with a little lemon garnish. I always put like my little maraschino cherries in there.
I know, you love it.
It's freakishly good and dangerously delicious.
So this is what you're going to be drinking all weekend long while you're watching the PGA Championship?
Yeah, I think this is like worthy of like a pitcher worth. Like I think you like make yourself a pitcher of this and like chill out, watch the tournament, maybe like kick back with a great summer. I mean, it's summertime. It's a summertime tea with a little booze.
Here's the key. Whenever, because I'm all about sangria. I'm like, I love me some. The key is don't put the ice in the pitcher. Make sure that your sangria has no ice in the pitcher. You just put your ice in the cup. Anyway,
totally.
David, what's your drink of choice tonight? What are you sporting?
I asked my dad, who's in town for the first time since pre-COVID, I asked him to go into the cooler I have upstairs and grab something, and this is what he grabbed for me. So it's some sort of gin, soda, orange flavored. It tastes great. I had no idea. It's probably my wife's, but what Christina's drinking is something that I'd probably order, and get in trouble and made fun of. But we'll drink some gin and soda.
So
cheers, guys.
Since it's the second major of the season, I went all out and I opened up a bottle of my pink bubbly. I love me some pink bubbly, especially in the summer. I'm pretending we're already there. Here's to us and here's to our show tonight, guys.
Cheers.
All right. As always, we look back before we look forward. The Byron Nelson, KH Lee wins it on Sunday. And
wow.
So this On the Tee show airs every Tuesday night here on all these multitude of platforms. David's tonight, Christina, me, PFN 365. But also we're on 98.7 ESPN radio every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. And Christina, for the first time, John and I had Lee. We were fading Sam Burns. I know. Hold on. But wait, I am going to give you credit where credit's due. We faded Sam Burns on Sunday. We both liked Lee. So sure enough, he delivered. We won. And I want to say that you could get him on Sunday morning when we talked about it at like plus 144 or something like that for him to win the tournament at that point. He was only a few shots back, but maybe 2 shots back. But Christina, you hit it on the head. You said, listen, you don't want Spieth to win because you like Spieth coming into the PGA Championship and you know how difficult it is to go back to back. So you've got to be happy that you did make that call. You got to be. I know we're about to dive into the PGA Championship, but you got to be happy that Spieth did not win the Byron Nelson last week, right?
Yeah, and it's so hard to root for someone not to win. But if this kid, if he wants to go out there and win this championship, that is just those odds are just against you. So I'm kind of glad he played well. He showed he can deliver. Listen, none of the Dallas locals delivered like we thought they were going to. But yeah, I'm kind of glad he didn't. So now we can set him up and see how he plays out here in Kiawah.
So Lee won 25 under, some big numbers, guys. Burns faded at the end. Keep in mind, it was rainy, it was miserable, bad weather. He shot a 22. Kisry, Berger, Schwartzel all finished -21, tied for third. Spieth finished -18, tied for ninth. And my guy back in the top 20, Willie Zalatoris. He finished 16 under, so he tied for 17th. I will stop ripping him for getting engaged. David?
A couple of things. One, I want to give you mad credit. Friday night, 98.9. I was ESPN New York. I was on with you, and you picked Lee that night to win Friday night. I know you give me credit when I go on your show and pick winners, which I've done many times on Friday night. It's so much easier to pick winners Friday night than Wednesday night. But you went ahead and you said you were going to have Lee and you were going to ride on the rest of the weekend. So props to you for doing that. When I was watching on Sunday, I was like, wow, she picked this one right. Because I honestly thought Sam Burns was taking this one. As far as Willie Z goes, I think the upset of the century, and we'll probably touch on the pool later, is I run a snake draft pool with 10 people, and Anita and I are both in it.
I know where you're going with this.
Anita has the one pick, so she also had 2021. Not only did she go with Victor Hovland number 1, which call it what it is, like that no one's doing that.
I think he's gonna win. I knew I wasn't gonna get him on the way back.
I was talking to the person who was picking ahead of Anita and then behind Anita, and he had Willie Z as one of his guys. And I said to him, not gonna tell you what to do, but there's a -10,000 chance that Anita picks Willie Z at the turn, so you better take him. And he didn't take him, and she didn't take him. Came back, my buddy got him, and she said the reason she didn't take him was because he got engaged. And you know what? I get it. It happened to Ricky. It happened to Rory. It happened to Dustin. You might be onto something there.
I love it. Any guy who gets engaged, you fade him. It's science, like gravity.
Science. I love
we can all sit here and look at all the stats in the world, and we can look at golf stats, and we can look at the eye test, and we can look at the metrics, but you put a rock on a lady's finger, fade. See ya.
You're going down the toilet. What we are going to do is we're gonna tease this. We're gonna dive into a guy when we start previewing the PGA Championship. We're gonna dive into a guy that I really, really love this week, and the guy that I selected over Willie Zalatoris, who, by the way, David, I recorded best bets for tomorrow's Daily Wager Show on ESPN. Shameless plug, ESPN2, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m., typically, most nights. Anyway, so I talked about this one individual, and in my conversation, I said, he might now be my new favorite guy over Willie Zalatoris. So it's all coming full circle.
Let me ask, though. Willie Z was your crush, your human ATM. He gets engaged, you fade him. I get it, the whole, distraction, or you're mad because he got engaged, and now you haven't.
Listen, I'm the biggest romantic. I'm thrilled that he got engaged. This is not a personal thing. I mean,
but he didn't pick you. He didn't pick you.
No, it's fine.
It's her wallet. She cares. It's the wallet.
Exactly.
It's all about the wallet.
You're 24 years old. You're crushing it. You're crushing it on the tour, and you're getting engaged in the middle of the season.
It's just getting started.
Wait till the season.
His fiance will probably pick the first week of April to get married too. You know how it works.
I mean, but David, you oversee our ESPN column each and every week. I mean, it was an ATM. Willie Zalatoris, top 20. We were getting it at plus money. Deliver. Dude gets engaged. He doesn't make the cut.
Out. My guy Connors, your guy Willie Z. We take it every single week in the column, so I get it. And you write him off, and I like him this week, by the way. But we'll get into that later.
I like him this week, but there's a guy that I like a little more, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. The FedEx Cup standings. Here we go. Top 10. Bryson DeChambeau still at the top, 1660. Justin Thomas right behind him, just about less than 30 points away. Hovland, then Schauffele. Get this, Sam Burns. He goes from 16 to 5. How about that? He's now 5th now in the FedEx Cup standings. He's having an amazing season. Cam Smith, I know you like him a lot, David. Stuart Sink, Jordan Spieth is at 8, Cantlay at 9, and Decky, of course, after winning the Masters, comes in at 10, which means that DJ now is out of the top 10 in regard to the FedEx Cup standings. Christina, let's go to you first. Your thoughts. Sam Burns making a big jump from 16 to 5 and DJ out of the top 10. Those are the two biggest storylines.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Sam Burns, he played like he owned the course this past week. I mean, he just looked so good. So, this guy coming in here, making a move. Listen, I've been talking about DJ all season. Like, he's been playing less than par golf, literally. I mean, he just has not sparked anything. So I've just been fading him all year. I never pick him. I just don't think he's something's going on there. He was, he withdrew for was his knee last week or whatever was bothering him. But Sam Burns, I mean, he caught fire early over the weekend. I mean, he just rallied. So I mean, this guy's great. I mean, I love it. I think he's doing really good stuff.
David, your thoughts on Sam Burns leapfrogging a lot of people and DJ no longer now in the top 10?
I mean, I think the more surprising thing is DJ. Obviously, Sam Burns caught fire, won a few weeks ago. I was actually surprised that he didn't close the deal this past week, but sometimes you peak a little early with that 62 on Friday, and then the weekend didn't go his way. I think DJ dropping out of the top 10 is really stunning. If you think back, November wasn't that long ago. We're talking about 6 months ago. The guy ran away with the Masters like Tiger style, just ran away with it. And now we're talking 6 months later, and he's dropped out of the top 10. He hasn't had a good finish in months, and he's not even one of the favorites to win this week at the PGA. And you got to wonder what is wrong. Is he injured? Is he not? Is his health in question? I would be surprised if he puts it together this week. He's really, really, really good off the tee, and he hits the ball long, which you're going to need here. But I think him dropping out of the top 10, I'm going to assume it's a blip on the radar. Get back up there, but this guy was world number 1 just a few weeks ago.
I apologize. It is around that time where people now are coming back in from work or maybe heading out to get a cocktail, and so my dogs are barking because people are walking outside my apartment. So I sincerely apologize. So let's take a look in regard to the PGA Championship odds coming into. You okay, Papa? Okay. Mama's working. Mama's working right now, big guy. Anyway, let's take a look at the PGA Championship odds that are out there right now. And guys, let's look back. And this is one of the biggest storylines we're going to dive into. But Rory winning the Wells Fargo, now he is favored. We talked about it a lot. Dustin Johnson was favored up until Rory won the Wells Fargo. He's favored now 10-1. Dustin Johnson, as well as JT, Rahm. Look at the guys that are right behind him. DeChambeau. A few odds that really stand out to me, and again, we're going to get into even deeper conversation about these players, but guys that I'm keeping an eye on, again, Jordan Spieth, 16-1, Morikawa, 22-1, Hovland, 25-1, Berger, 33-1, Hatton, 33-1, Willie Zalatoris, for those that don't mind that he got engaged, 40-1, Cam Smith, I know, David, you like him a lot, 40-1. Louis O, 50-1. And I can't believe Abe Answer, 50-1. Whoa, man, throw $1 on that. Throw $1. What's $1? You can't buy a cup of coffee for $1.
Well, and Koepka, where is he down there? He dropped, or where were his odds? I didn't see. Koepka, 20-1 or something?
He's 20-1.
20-1.
Koepka's 20-1. Decky, 25-1. Reed 33-1. So just to kind of give you an idea of what's out there. Guys, again, we've got Trey Wingo who's going to be joining us in 10 minutes. So let's talk about some of the big storylines and what this Kiawah course, the Ocean course, means. It's a Pete Dye design, as they call it, his most diabolical design of all the courses that he has designed. Mother Nature comes into play big time. In fact, they're expecting Thursday, Friday, around 15 mile per hour winds. The weekend, they're expecting the wind gust to get up to 25 miles per hour. So as you know, if you handicap golf, you know that you want to pay attention to guys who are really great with their irons and are clutch in greens and regulation. It's a long course. It plays 7,800 yards. It's one of the longest, if the not longest course on tour. Pas Palum. Get to know this word. Pas Palum. It is a certain grass, and it is the grass that is used on the fairways here. Why is this important? And I've already kind of like told you who I like, but it's Hovland. There are certain players who perform extremely well on this type of grass. And Hovland is one of them. He's won twice on tour on golf courses that have this type of grass on the fairway. Your ball comes off of this grass very differently. It's very uniquely in regard to the feel of the club and the feel of the ball off this grass, and that's important. Caddies that have been there for the past few days have said that it is firm, it is fast, and the 2.5 inch rough is thicker than what you think, and it's only going to continue to get thicker as we go into the weekend. And also, they're expecting to have 10,000 fans per day. So the fans are going to be there. With that being said, David, let's go to you. What are some of the other things that you've heard about this course that you're paying attention to?
Well, not only is it long, you hit it right off the top that it's the longest major championship course of all time. No one's ever stretched out to 7,800 yards, but it's also one of those courses that you can't miss the fairways in, because basically it's one gigantic sand dune with a whole bunch of fairways stripped through the middle of it. So you got to get it out there, but you can't just be Bryson and throw it out there and it lands wherever it is, which is why people think long course, they automatically dial up the bombers like Bryson, DJ, etc. But accuracy is going to be huge here, because if you want to get on those greens, you got to hit the fairways. And this is the type of course where you don't want to miss the fairways and you don't want to miss the greens. And I know people who cover golf, they're like, well, yeah, obviously you got to hit fairways and greens. But you go to Augusta, you can miss some fairways and still get up there and score. This course is not very forgiving. You talked about the rough being a little bit worse than people think it is. The fairways are going to run. So if you hit the fairway, it's going to bounce left, it's going to bounce right, it's going to bounce straight. You got to get someone who not only is long, but accurate as well. So I think the shots gained off tee metric is going to be key here, because that combines accuracy and length, which is why I'm not playing guys like Bryson DeChambeau, but I am playing guys like Daniel Berger and Xander Schauffele, who not in the 12, 13, 16 to 1 range, but back towards, I have Schauffele at 22 to 1 at William Hill, Daniel Berger at 30 to 1, Corey Connors at 60 to 1. Guys who can get it there, but also can hit it straight and have great iron play to the greens. Those guys are all over the shots gained metrics, whether it's tee to green, off the tee, greens and reg, etc. Like I said, not just distance, but accuracy as well. And I'm hearing out there that if you miss and you're in the dunes area, it could be sand, but not the type of sand that gets raked. It's the sand that people step on all the time. It could be fescue. It could be rough. It could be any sort of crap that's out there. Got to hit the fairways and got to get out there long, because it's 7,800 yards. That's a long course. It's playing about 300 yards further than it was 9 years ago when Rory ran it out there. And then, you look at the putting. We talk about the greens are not as fast as some of the other majors. So I think the putting, in my eyes, Anita, is a step back with all the other metrics. I'm looking at accuracy, length, and iron play. And then if you get the putter or the flat stick out there to be average, I think you have a good chance at winning this one.
Yeah. Christina?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree 1,000%. And I think this course is designed really to push players to make proper golf shots. So going back to what you said about Bryson, I mean, yeah, people hear, oh, it's a long course. You think these guys like the Brysons and DJs are going to go out and just destroy the course, but that's not really the case. This case is designed for golfers to play golf and play the course and play the holes designed. I mean, the proper setup, and you want to put that ball in the fairway strategically where you need it to be, and really push the players to think cerebral about this course. And I think that's why we're going to see the players with that great iron game come alive at this course. And keep in mind, we got crazy winds going on here, right? So we got a long course. We got those winds off the Atlantic that are really going to push these players to really shine. Like those, we're going to see like just world-class ball striking in order to like get that trophy on Sunday. So,
I came across an article. It may have been on the Action Network website. I believe it is, and they broke down trends. Okay, in regard to the 8 of the last 10 winners. Okay. In regard to the PGA Championship. 8 of the last 10 were in their 20s. 8 of the last 10 were world top 25. 8 of the last 10 won a stroke play event in that same season. And 8 of the 10 had a top 20 in one of their last 2 starts. Okay.
Way to not plug ESPN.com there, Anita.
I'm an equal opportunity, golf host here. So with that being said, just to kind of just to share with you, who are the golfers that meet that criteria? Justin Thomas, Bryson DeChambeau, Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, Decky, and Daniel Berger. Those are the only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're the only 6 players who meet the criteria of 8 of the 10 of the last winners here on the PGA Championship. I just found that to be, I love that.
Interesting.
I love researching those kind of like really off the beaten path metrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like the Dr. North stuff that we used to do at the U.S. Open. Me and the Bear, Chris Felica, used to do the Dr. North. He'd come out there at the U.S. Open in the lab coat. We'd give him stats like that. He'd throw all the cards out, and then he'd have his winner based on our formula. We never got it right, but it is a fun thing to do. And I'm glad you mentioned Daniel Berger. I got him. He'll be in the column tomorrow, not on the Action Network, but on ESPN.com. Chalk. He's a mid-range guy at 30-1. He's in the top 25 in all of the metrics. You want approach, you want putting, you want overall, tee to green, greens and reg. The top 10 machine known as Daniel Berger, he's on your list. He's one of my guys, 30-1, top 10 at plus 300. Love that guy this week.
As we wait for Trey Wingo to join us on the show, let's dive into some of the top storylines. And probably, in my opinion, none is bigger than Rory coming in, right? Winning the Wells Fargo. Now he's favored. His new swing coach that definitely has got his game going. Here's the thing. He got 75%. He hit 75% of the greens in regulation at the Wells Fargo. Okay, so that tells you, it screams to you that, right, like he's back. He's got his swing. He feels good. He's in his zone. He's dialed in. Coming into the Wells Fargo, he ranked 108th on tour in putting. And he crushed it with his putter at the Wells Fargo. Here's my reservation. Is that putter going to be just as hot? And I know you said that the greens aren't going to be fast. I think, what are they? They're running at like 11.5. I think that's what the caddies that have been there all week are saying. But I just have a hard time believing that all things are going to be on point for Rory like they were. And I get it. He owns this course. He's crushed this course. He's won on this course. And I'm not fading him. I've got in the column, and again, it comes out on ESPN.com tomorrow. I do have Rory in my top 10, and you could get it at plus money, which is fantastic. But my gut's telling me he doesn't win this tournament. Christina, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on Rory heading into this?
Oh man, I think this is the one that I've been struggling with the most because, he's the defending champ at Kiowa, right? From 2012. So I just like where he's come. I mean, I think Pete Cohen, I think he was with him before. I'm not remembering if correctly, but I mean, he's got all these things back together. I mean, listen, he admitted he had some motivational issues in the beginning of the year. Bryson got into his head. I mean, that is not a surprise. But it seems like things are clicking for him. And yeah, I mean, can he defend? Can he get back out there again and play this course? I think he's going to play really well. I think I'm not picking him to win, but I believe he's going to finish top 5 in that.
All right.
Those are my thoughts.
David, I believe before we get your thoughts on Rory, I believe that we do have Trey and he's standing by. Maybe he's taking a break from watching the NBA play-in games. Trey Wingo, what is up? How you doing?
I could promise you I'm not watching the NBA play-in games. I can be 100% certain about that.
Excuse me for a second, Trey. I need you to button that up. That's too much skin for this is a family show. Okay.
I would have had it as minus 250 that Trey was not watching the association.
What's
Oh my God.
better?
Look at that golf tan. I'm jealous. You've already got the golf tan, Trey. Look at you.
Hold on.
His collar.
I got a D. Phil Mickelson here. Hold on for a second.
I mean, can I say that in the 16 years I've worked at ESPN, I spent a lot of it working with Trey, and this is a bucket list career accomplishment to be sharing the same stage as Trey Wingo, right?
To have Trey undress in front of you on the air, that's a
that too. But we spent.
This is for you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Trey. Before I go, do you approve?
Yeah, it's better. Like Brett's hair the last couple of weeks before the draft, we were doing the shows on PFN. I don't know what was going on there. You had a lot. There was a rooster tail. There was high and tight. There was a lot going on there. I respect your commitment to change, though, much in the same way that Rory has committed to changing his swing. I respect the way that you have committed to changing your hair on almost a weekly basis.
It's because of you and how self-conscious you've made me. So credit to you. Hats off. And I'll see you guys on the other side.
Brett, thank you so much.
All right.
Just want to remind our viewers out there, you've got questions for the show, please post them on the message board. At the end of the show, we bring Brett back in and we answer them for you. So Trey, first and foremost, great to see you again. Thank you so much for spending some time with us on this Tuesday evening. And as you heard, we were talking about Rory. I think it's one of the biggest storylines. I've been fading Rory all season because, let's be honest, he's been lost. But boy, has he been found at the Wells Fargo. Your thoughts about him coming into this tournament?
Well, the last time Rory won a start worldwide the week before a major, it was 2014 before the PGA Championship that he won at Valhalla. So if you're looking for omens, that's certainly one that comes to mind. Obviously, I think he won by 8 strokes here in 2012. And it's a course he's very familiar with. This is a very, very weather-dependent course. I thankfully have had the opportunity to play it a bunch of times, not obviously in championship conditions, but it's a course that if it's not blowing, it's gettable for these guys, even though it's stretched out to 78 plus 100 yards, as David was talking about. This is a wind-dependent course. And I was just looking at the forecast, and the forecast isn't that bad. I mean, we're talking about max Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 to 12 mile an hour winds. And then potentially Sunday late in the afternoon, we could get some 20 mile an hour gusts. So that means it's not going to be the chaos that can be created by that course. I mean, you can play that ocean course when the wind is blowing. You can hit 150-yard drives into the wind and 380-yard drives with the wind. And I'm talking about hacks, not like pros, okay? So it is very weather dependent. Pete Dye courses are interesting, and David, I think you'll agree with me on this. There's so many different tests of a Pete Dye golf course that it doesn't really favor one type of player or the other, because your short game will be tested, your long game will be tested, your irons will be tested, your driving will be tested. So if the wind isn't blowing, I think it opens up the field to a lot of different golfers. And the early forecast that I've been watching say it's not going to be one of those days where you have to hold on to your hat and try and lean forward as you walk into the wind.
Interesting. But I'm hearing that the wind is expected to pick up a little bit later on over the weekend. You know, we were just talking about Rory and what we were able to see and what he was able to do at the Wells Fargo. He landed 75% of the greens in regulation, but really the story was his putter. I mean, he was just lights out with his putter. And I hate to say that I'm fading him, but he is favored coming in. So I am fading him to win. I've got Hovland winning this week, Trey. But I do have Rory finishing in the top 10. I did like what I saw at the Wells Fargo. I just don't know if that putter, and even though as David alluded to, the greens, I think they're running at like 11 and a half right now. They're not.
Which is slow for a major.
Yes.
It's slow for a major because they're so exposed. Well, here's the thing. Like we talked about this, and I listened to you guys talk about it. Every phase of your game is going to be tested. You're going to miss shots at Kiawah because there are a lot of raised greens and a lot of just different challenges that affect the golfer. Well, when he won at Wells Fargo, Roy led the field in scrambling 14 for 18. That was the 6th time in his PGA career event he's done that. And in 4 of those 6 tournaments, he's won. So to me, the biggest indication about whether or not Rory's going to repeat as the PGA champion at Kiawah, 9 years later, is how's his scrambling game? Because this is, as David was alluding to, and I heard Christina talk about it as well, you're going to miss greens. You're going to miss fairways. You're going to have to find a way to make a 4 or make a 3 or, heaven forbid, make a 5 where you probably shouldn't. And that was the thing that struck me the most about Rory's win at Wells Fargo. His scrambling was just fantastic.
And Anita, I want to say, like, Trey hit it on the head. You're going to have to find ways to make 4s and 5s on these courses. It's why a guy like Jordan Spieth, you kind of wonder what he's going to do. He ranks 143rd on tour in terms of shots gained off tee. He's 190th in terms of accuracy. Those metrics are not good when you're looking to hit fairways and greens and get those 4s out there. But if he hits the fairway, he's as good as anybody with his iron. So you really have to hit those. Yeah. And if you do miss, you got to get back up there. And I think the Rory enigma is, I think all of us, media, fans, everybody, overplay it from top to bottom. When Rory missed a couple of cuts in a row and played bad at the Players and played bad at the Masters, everyone's like, oh, he lost his game completely. People forget that he started the year with 5 consecutive top 10s. And then he had a couple of bad weeks when the stuff got into his head. And then it's, oh, he's back. He should be the favorite. He only won once. First time in 18 months. Yeah. So we like to overplay on both sides. He's totally lost his game because he had a couple of bad events after getting top 5s. But now he's back completely because he won one time. Trey hit it. If he scrambles well and his putter's on fire, like you said, from Wells Fargo, he could win this again. But we also have to remember, he's only won once, and he missed cuts in a whole lot of events leading into this. So what Rory shows up, if it's the one that hits 75% of the greens, he'll be right there on Sunday.
And David, one of the things when I was listening to you before I came in, you were talking about Bryson. Like, the thing that makes Bryson great is we've had bombers before, right? We've had bombers. I mean, Hank Haney was hitting at 30, 40 yards farther than anybody else, but he wasn't hitting fairways. The thing that makes DeChambeau so special to me is not only is he 30 yards longer than a lot of players, but he's hitting a lot of fairways. And that's going to be critical at Kiawah, especially if the wind does pick up. Because when those like oceanside courses, those links courses, when the sun is out, and the sun's going to be out this week, they're not expecting hardly any rain, if any, this week. So if the sun's out and you get even a 10-mile-an-hour wind, those fairways become firm and fast. And then it's not how far can you hit it, where can you land it so it doesn't run into trouble that Pete Dye has put on almost every hole on that golf course.
Guys, another big storyline is Jordan Spieth coming in. And again, I think he's one of the biggest stories this year in golf. Obviously, if you had a vote for Player of the Year, I think he'd be in the conversation with Decky and DeChambeau as well. But the pressure, let's talk about the pressure coming in and trying to win that 4th major, where now you're one of a very small select few of men on that have walked this planet that have accomplished winning all 4 majors. Trey, obviously you're our special guest for a few more minutes. So let's start with you. Mentally, because we've seen Spieth kind of struggle mentally before, I think that was really a big part of the reason that he just hasn't played as well in the past few years, was the mental aspect of the game. I worry that maybe it's just going to be too much pressure coming in. How are you playing Spieth this weekend?
Well, yeah, I mean, like when he was not winning, like the conversations with him and Greller, his caddy, were just hilarious. Like it was so over analysis, paralysis by analysis. They're just chirping the entire time. But from a historical perspective, anybody, and this is what Jordan is trying to do, no one has ever won the career Grand Slam by doing it at the PGA Championship, which I think is kind of interesting, right? There's only been 5 guys that have done it in the world, and none of them have completed the Grand Slam by winning the PGA. So he would be the first to do that. The Jordan thing, to me, and David was right when he reeled off those stats, is he going to be too crooked off the tee, right? Because he's never one of the big bombers, but he's just long enough. And at a course that's stretched out to 7,800 yards, and we're talking about someone who's a little crooked off the tee, like you could just miss a couple of places at Kiawah, like the 2nd and 3rd hole come to mind. And if you just miss the fairway, it's death. I mean, Pete Dye hates golfers, or hated golfers while he was alive. I mean, that's the signature of a Pete Dye golf course. I'm going to make it so you're going to drive yourself crazy with where I want you to hit it. And if you can't hit it there, you're completely screwed. So the Spieth thing to me, which is going to be the most interesting, is if he misses off the tee, where his miss is going to be. Because the margin of error at Kiawah, with the way the course plays and the way Pete Dye set it up, is so thin. That to me is going to be the deciding factor whether or not Spieth is in contention.
And he's the type of guy that'll reel off 3 consecutive birdies, hit a 50-foot bomb on the green for an eagle, and then give it all back. Give it all back when he hits it into the death pit on the right-hand side of a hole and get an 8 or get a 7. If he can avoid those crooked numbers and even just follow up the birdies with some pars, he's right there. But, 185th in driving accuracy. It's not the number you want headed to Kiowa.
No, absolutely not.
So with all that being said, Trey, who do you have coming in? Who's your winner this weekend?
Well, I obviously like Rory a lot because I do believe when he's playing well, he's as good as anyone is on tour right now. I want to throw out a sleeper, and I'd love to get Christina and everybody else's thoughts on this. There's a guy who probably isn't getting a lot of pub because he's not one of the longer hitters out there, but he's such a nasty little effer. I love him, and he's from South Carolina, and he's competed in majors before and had opportunities. But he knows what it would mean for him to win in his home state, and that's Kevin Kisner. To me, if he could ever make a Ryder Cup team, I would ride that stallion on Ryder Cup play or President's Cup play as long as that guy, like his slogan, it ain't a hobby. He takes it seriously. And I just have a feeling he's going to be juiced up this weekend, knowing that it's in his home state. And he has. I would not be surprised if somehow Kiz snuck into the top 5.
Hey, yeah. My thing is, I don't like rooting for the local guys, the guys close to home for whatever reason. I find that you think that's going to be the guy. He's in his home state, his home area. He's going to deliver. But I wouldn't go there just because he's the local guy.
It's funny you say that. Like to your point, Christina, Xander Schauffele has played Torrey Pines a gazillion times. It was his home golf course in high school. He's almost always missed the cut.
Correct.
Along those lines. But there's something about Kiz. You're 100% right in what you're saying, but he's just a spitfire, man. And he has 0 F's to give. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I like.
That's what you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Trey, you have him winning. You feel more comfortable in the top 5.
I would love to see him in the top 5, top 10. I tell you another player that I really wouldn't sleep on. And again, it depends on the wind. Like wind players are going to do well at Kiowa if the wind blows. So who plays? Mark Leishman plays very well in windy conditions. That's another reason why I like Rory. You can't play in Northern Ireland and not be adept in windy conditions. So
Trey, what about Rahm?
Yeah, no, absolutely. John
Right?
Rahm is another one I was going to mention. I think he's being undersold at this point. And I think that the key for Rahm, as we all know, he's got to keep his emotions in check, right? He is a fiery Spaniard, and sometimes he's a little too combustible for his own good. The thing for John is he's got to control his emotions. His game speaks for itself. Sometimes it's the things that aren't associated with his game per se that get in his way, and I think that's going to be the test for him 4 days at the Ocean Course.
Trey, before we let you go, I'm going to throw out a sleeper. I talked about it on Daily Wager. We actually recorded a best bet for tomorrow, so folks that are watching, you get a little sneak peek. So, I did a deep dive, and I kept on coming across this young man's name, Garrick Higo. Have you heard of him before? Garrick Higo.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So he's South African. He's first of all, Christine, you'll love this. He downs 5 Red Bulls in a row. He can't play without. He can't play without Red Bull. Anyway, he is crushing the European Tour. His last 4 starts, he's won twice, and he's got 2 top 10s. The young man can crush it. He hits it a mile, and he's coming in. He's very familiar with the conditions that we possibly could be expecting over the weekend. As you said, maybe on Sunday winds are going to pick up, and also he went to UNLV. Anyway, I've been doing a lot of research the last 24, 48 hours, and this young man's name keeps on coming up, and so I did a deep dive, and I'm excited to see him play. And get this, you can get him to finish in the top 40 at plus 150 at plus money. So I'm just keep an eye on this young man, Garrick Higo.
Yeah, he's played really well in the European Tour, and that's really interesting, Anita, because and David, you can appreciate this. I don't know why we continue to play, especially Ryder Cup and President Cup matches at places like Whistling Straits. because look, I want to be clear. I love Whistling Straits. It's one of my favorite places in the world. But so many European players play on links courses into the wind, whereas Americans play almost predominantly in what's called parkland courses overseas or inland courses where you play the ball in the air as opposed to playing the ball on the ground. And to me, that's one of the reasons we struggle so mightily in these Ryder Cup matches is that we keep inviting them to play on courses that completely suit their game. To your point about Garrick Higgo, that's exactly right.
I thought the same thing when they announced Whistling Straits as the course. I'm like, we'll save that for Scotland. Like, what are we doing playing that over here?
Thank you. What's wrong with something in Kansas City, right? I mean,
Valhalla sounds like a good one. Let's go.
Thank you. Let's go inland. Oh, by the way, we wanted Valhalla in 2008. So, that's just a little side note.
Which, by the way, John Mascari, who typically hosts this show, and David's been so kind to fill in for him tonight, shot a 76 at Whistling Straits today.
That's a rock solid number.
Yes. So here's to you, John Mascari.
Cheers,
Trey,
John.
Trey, thank you so much. Always great to see your face. Always great to hear your voice. And we so appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much.
Anita, happy to be with you. Christina, happy to be with you again. Beerman, my guy, a long-suffering Dolphins fan who I think the tide is finally turning. The tide is finally turning for the Dolphins.
Thank you, Trey. And I can tell you, every time I walked by Trey in the hallway, he would always ask me about the Miami Dolphins. So.
It's true. It's true.
I love it.
All right, guys.
Enjoy the tournament. Enjoy the tournament, Trey Wingo. Thank you so much.
Sure. Playing.
All right. Oh, wow. All right. Let's dive right into another big topic, and that's there's some injuries here with some big-time players that you have to pay attention to. DJ's dealing with a knee. We just talked about it not too long ago. He's out of the top 10 in regards to the FedEx Cup standings. Webb Simpson is dealing with a neck. Brooks Koepka is dealing with a knee. Apparently, reports are his doctor said that he shouldn't even be up. Did we just lose David?
He's like, I'm done with these two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, Trey.
I'm done.
He's like,
we're not talking about Koepka now.
He's like, Trey's gone.
David texted me and he said that because Trey left, he didn't see any reason in continuing with the show.
Okay.
I told him he's missing out. I mean, the two lovely ladies are what makes the show great. But I actually don't know what happened. I will be in touch with him to see if we can get him back.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Can
I just say that I love how Brett just like appears.
He's like Oz. He just kind of like appears.
He just appears and then he's like, bye. And then anyway. So apparently Brooks Koepka is dealing with a knee issue that we know of. But
so it's a knee, it's the same knee issue or a new knee issue or like the same issue.
It's the same knee issue. But apparently reports, I read this today, apparently like doctors are telling him he really shouldn't be playing for 6 months, but he's going to tee it up and play. So anyway, I just share this with you to say, I'm not putting a dime of my hard-earned money on DJ, Webb, or Brooks. I'm just not.
No,
I agree with you on DJ and Brooke. What I saw from Brooks last week did not impress me, and DJ has been off for a couple of weeks now, so it's worse than it is. I like Webb. I think Webb fits the narrative with this course. A great iron player, very consistent, leads the tour in adjusted scoring. I don't know how bad his neck is, but I liked his game, and I like what he brings for this specific course. So I am going to play Webb. He is shorter than a lot of the other players, and giving up 20 to 40 yards doesn't excite me. So I'm going to play him in 10s and 20s. Not going to play him to win, but I am going to play him 10s, 20s, and in DFS.
Interesting. I'm not touching any of those guys with a 10-foot pole. Before we really start diving into some of the other guys that we like in the top 10, top 20, top 40, the rangefinder situation. And by the way, Tony Finau, nobody notified him.
He didn't get the memo.
He didn't get the memo. The range.
Don't they put the memo in their locker in the clubhouse or something? Like, don't they email it, mail it, like send them a flare or something?
Like seriously, but I guess. And here's the topic of conversation. They're saying that the reason that they're implementing this or allowing this to be had is so that it can speed up pace of play. But let's be honest. Listen, the three of us have played golf before. I mean, I know you two haven't played golf together, but I've played golf with both of you. Just because we use a rangefinder, does that mean that we're speed? No. If I'm clocking in at a distance, I'm going to turn to you and say, Christina, my rangefinder says that it's this, this, and this. What does yours say? I don't understand the thought process of rangefinder is going to quicken the speed pace of play. I don't agree. I don't get it.
Pros. Yeah, I mean, I get maybe somewhere someone had some I don't know, study somewhere that said it made it faster. But let's be honest. I mean, the pros, the caddies, they pace these courses. Their yardage book has more data in there than a rangefinder is going to find. So to me, the fact that Finau and maybe his caddy or any other players aren't thinking about using the rangefinder wouldn't surprise me, because the data that they have in those little books is so much more valuable than like clocking the distance with a rangefinder to know because that's all it's going to tell you is how far a pin is. But they have that data. There's so much more than that goes into that decision. So I don't think you're going to see many guys out there with the rangefinder this week. I don't know what you guys think, but I mean,
the yardage books, the times I've played these type of courses, like the Straits course or Pebble or one of those, you use the yardage book. And, technology is good. I got GPS on my phone and all that. But, I mean, the yardage books, it marks everything. So I'm not sure what the rest of it. You got a caddy. Like, if I had a caddy with me, I'd be good.
Job. Right. That's his job to do it. He is the rangefinder.
Right.
He is the rangefinder. All right, guys, time to reveal our picks. We know Trey likes Kisner. I get it. Here's what I like. Again, I've been talking about it all show. I like Hovland. I've got him to win. He's coming in hot. He's dialed in. He's very comfortable on these fairways. His iron play is on point. I really like Hovland, especially at 22-1. Morikawa, I like Morikawa to finish in the top 5. You can get that at plus 550. I like Rory to finish in the top 10. I've got Spieth finishing in the top 10 as well. Willie Zalatoris, I'm still sticking with him to finish in the top 20. I'm not abandoning him yet. Interesting. Trey brought up the whole scrambling significance, guys coming in and really being up there in regards to the ability to scramble. Answer. Tied for 12th on tour in regard to scrambling this season. I love Answer to finish in the top 20 at plus 188, by the way. I think those are some really good odds. To finish in the top 40, Keegan Bradley, Kokrak, and then again, I shared with you, I just stumbled upon this young man, Garrick Higo. I want to say Higo because it's Higgo, but it's Higo. Garrick Higo to finish in the top 40 at plus 150. Those are my plays.
Don't feel bad about the pronunciation. We were at, and this is Trey and myself, we were at St. Andrews in 2010 when some guy we've never heard of named Oosthuizen. No one, true story. After the round where he took the lead before the wind delay, talking about weather, when he was done and we were in a delay, they sent me down there and I spoke with his mother, Louis' mother, to find out how to pronounce Oosthuizen and gave it to the entire broadcast crew. So don't feel bad about not being able to pronounce the South African names. There's no better person to ask than the kid's mother. So find his mom and ask him. All of a sudden, I take full credit for everybody in the world knowing how to pronounce Louis O because I asked his mom in 2010.
I love it.
Mama O.
David, let's go to you. What are your picks? What are your plays? Who do you like heading into this tournament this weekend?
You'll see it in the column tomorrow. I don't love the favorites in this course. If you go top to bottom from Rory down to Bryson and DJ and Rahm, I think every one of those guys has a reason for me not to pick them with the short price. Who do I like? Xander Schauffele at 22-1. I think you're getting a really good price on him. A guy who has 7 top 6s and 15 career majors, 2nd overall in shots gained, 14 tee to green, 8th in putting, 44th off tee. At 22-1, you're getting really good value. I know we've been down this road before. I think he's different than a Finau or a Fowler. I think this guy will win one, and the PGA is the type of event that if you're going to get your first major win, it's usually at a PGA, and I like Xander here. Talked about Daniel Berger earlier. 30-1 to win, fits all the metrics. Mid-range guy who's in the top 25 in every single metric. Strong player, isn't scared of the limelight. All the guy does is cash top 10s. I like him this week at 30-1. It wouldn't be a show or a column if I didn't give my guy Corey Connors out there. Corey Connors 60-1. I'm not getting off like you did with Willie Z. I'm not getting off the bandwagon just because he had a T43 last week in Texas. He has like in 11 stroke play events before that, he finished in the top 29 times. Guy is a money-making machine. Perfect course for him, 9th in tee to green, 12th off the tee, 6th in approach. The guy has the metrics to win here. Now that he had a bad week last week, and I say bad because he didn't cash money, He's now 60-1. And the one long shot I'm going to throw out there, he won the PGA in 2011 in Atlanta, tried to win a title again the next year, 2012 at Kiowa, finished third behind the Rory McIlroy train express that went away for an 8-shot win. Keegan Bradley, look what he's done lately after disappearing for about half a decade. T4, second, T18, last 3 weeks. He had a top 10 at the API down in Orlando. He's gone from 150th in the world to 69th in the world the last 6 weeks. 5th in tee to green, 35th overall, 25th in greens and reg. Where is he bad? He's a terrible putter. He makes you and me look good on the greens. But as we talked about earlier, putting not as important here. We talk about only an 11 compared to what you see at Augusta and other places. If he can go out there and putt average, I think 70-1, in some places 80-1 is a really, really good price for a guy who played very well here 9 years ago and has won a major before.
And just a reminder, again, our ESPN column comes out tomorrow in our chalk sessions and our chalk section. So make sure you look for that. Christina, you are on deck, my friend. You have been on fire. You and David, both you have been on fire.
David, we got to team up. We can make some serious coin. If we put our heads together, like, yes. I think we might do really well.
I'm in.
So I've been struggling with this PGA. I feel like every week it's just these guys are like shifting around. Somebody else kind of like rises to the top. So I'm struggling here. I love Schauffele. I love him. I think he has a great shot at this. Daniel Berger keeps popping into my head. I mean, he's been haunting me. I mean, tee to green, solid, iron game, elite. I think he could pull this together. But I think I hate to pull the trigger on it already, but Victor Hovland, I mean, just to go back to that, I had him as one of my picks too. I mean, he's one of the best players on tour this year. I mean, I think that's not disputable, but I'm going with Rahm. I'm going because he's been a hot player. He's had the last 2 tournaments, haven't been so ideal for him, obviously, but he has proven success on these links style courses. He's won 2 Irish Opens. His style of golf isn't really impacted by wind or the fairways that were expected. So I know it's not supposed to be a super gusty, windy tournament. But I think this course is going to set up well for him. I mean, I think there's a case to be made that like he's the best player in history not to have a major. And I believe that this could be the tournament that he changes that. And I'm putting all my chips on Rahm right now because I just think,
you're putting all your chips on
all
Big
my
Daddy.
chips. It's Big Daddy Rahm.
Big Daddy.
Christina, he's got to get out to a hot start because Rahm, week in and week out, he's just down there, barely makes the cut. Next thing you know, he finishes T6.
I know, but then that's what I mean. Like Sundays, he has these like crazy, crazy surges on Sunday. He like decides, oh shit, I'm playing golf today, and then Sunday he has this realization that, oh, I have to go out and perform. And he does. So that's why I just kind of like him for that. I mean, but wait, do you know my sleeper pick? I'm going to tell you my sleeper pick. Max Homa. Because he's got bones on his bag.
Good one.
Oh, look at you with the nuggets.
Bones on his bag.
At you with the nuggets.
There you go. I'm just throwing that one out there.
Oh, I love it.
Bones.
I love it. All right. David, I know your family is in town. You haven't seen them in quite a while. I'm going to let you go. Christina's going to give us an LPG update next, but I'll let you go enjoy the rest of your evening with your folks that just got to town. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
Enjoy the golf, and more importantly, when am I golfing with you two? I want to tee it up with both of you. I've golfed with Anita once before, so name the place.
So
let's meet up and play.
So the 3 of us, we've got to get. And
there
Matt,
he is. What did we do wrong?
I just want to say I too am a long-suffering Dolphins fan, and before David goes, I didn't know I was hoping during Q&A to get to chat with him, but David, it was awesome to have you join us here. As you know, I'm Pro Football Network.
Yep.
David's follows me, and I don't know why because I'm a terrible Twitter follow, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it, David. I appreciate you. I love everything you do at ESPN. It was awesome to have you here, and as a Dolphins former Dolphins fan, I should say, because I can't be a team fan anymore. 2 a time, baby, 2 a time.
You'll like Brett that just before I did the show, I told my 4-year-old daughter, I said, hey, I'm gonna go do a golf show. Who do you think's who's gonna win? And she said, Tua.
Queen.
So.
She's a queen. She's a queen. Queen. Done. It's a done deal. So that's awesome. David, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Enjoy.
You got it. You got it, David. Thank you so much. All right, Christina, as always, we love to talk about the ladies. And they are back in action this week in Virginia. And again, you have been not only been nailing it, picking the men winners, but you've been nailing it with the ladies on tour as well. So, so who do you have winning this week?
Well, I honestly, again, this is such a hard. These are so hard. These girls are so good. There's so many great players out there, but I really like Brooke Henderson for some reason. I mean, she's been playing outstanding golf over the last 2 months. She's had 3 top 20 finishes in her last 4 tournaments. She won already, but I like Brooke, and I also like Lydia Ko. She's got 5 top 10 finishes this season. She's also has a win this year. Her game is the best it's been in a few years. She's only missed 1 cut this season. She's not a bad pick to win the season. So I think either one of those two are a sure win for this weekend. And it is, just FYI, Paula is back this week. So if you're a Pink Panther fan, you're going to see Paula Creamer back in the field at the Pure Silk Championship in Williamsburg, Virginia. So,
but I mean, she's been off for quite a while.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm trying to pull up some of the odds for the ladies game and see what's out here online. Yeah. But I mean, this is her first tournament back. Yeah. So are you?
I don't think she's gonna make the cut. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I love to see her. I mean, it's been 16 years since her first win. It's 7 years since her last win.
Oh, here we go.
She's back with her coach that she's been with both for. Listen, this is great for her. She's getting her feet wet. She's coming back out there. She's going to be playing at the U.S. Open in a few weeks. I just think fans are going to love seeing her out there, but I'm not expecting too much.
Okay, so Brooke Henderson 7-1 to win. 7-1 to win. Young Kim is favored at 6-1. Nelly Korda plus 650. Brooke Henderson 7-1. Jessica Korda 12-1. Those are your top 4. So you'd put some money on Brooke at 7-1.
Yeah. I mean, she's got the game to do it. I mean, this girl has been on fire. So I think Brooke, and listen, those Korda sisters, I don't know what water they're drinking. I don't know what they're doing, but whatever they're doing, they should just bottle it and sell it. And I would be like subscription service. Like I'm buying it because either one of those players are guaranteed to finish either top 5 or win this tournament. So, I mean, Henderson, Korda, 1 or 2. You get to pick 1 or 2, and Ko, I think, are great options.
All right. Well, I just put money on Brooke.
Done.
So we'll see what happens. Let's bring Brett back in. Brett, I just see how he just appears.
Like I'm from Oz.
I do like the new do. By the
Thank
way.
you. Thank you.
Do you have some questions from our viewers?
I do. I mean,
before we sign off.
A lot of our viewers would like to know why Trey is always so mean to me. It's been going on since March, quite frankly. And, my feelings aren't hurt, not really. But that being said, it does bring me great pleasure to say that one of our first comments from Trey's appearance on our show is that Trey is not as dreamy as his background is. And I'll make sure to forward this clip onto him.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. That has to be one of the best quotes in movie history. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
It is. It's his back. First of all, the humble flex with the Emmys in the background. Like, come on, bro. All right, we see you. We get it. No, Trey is the man. We have a great time during football season together. Okay. Our first question comes from Chris, a viewer on YouTube, and he says, Keegan Bradley is a good top 20 pick. You guys have been talking about him. I believe David mentioned him as a sleeper pick, but do you both feel confident that he is, in fact, he's a lock for the top 20?
I do like Keegan Bradley. I'm trying to pull up my notes. I wish David was still on because I know that I want to say that David wrote about him in our column that hits tomorrow. But yeah. I do like Keegan Bradley, and I'm definitely going to put money down on him. I'm going to put money down on him in the top. I like plus money. I'm happy putting $100, $50 down on a dude who's going to finish in the top 40 at plus money that I might like. So here's what I'm saying. I think that Keegan Bradley has a really good shot of finishing in the top 20. But if I could get him at plus 110, to finish in the top 40, I'll throw $100 down on that. It's still plus money. And I'm somewhat confident that he'll finish in the top 20. I'm really confident he's going to finish in the top 40. So that's kind of, when I'm putting money down on these top 10, top 20, top 40, top 30, get top 30 on DraftKings, that's what I'm looking for. I just called up some of the odds here that, here you go. 10 years ago, I'm just going to read this. 10 years ago, the little-known Bradley came out of virtually nowhere to win the PGA Championship. So keep in mind, he's won this already. Then almost followed it by a tie for third. He tied for third here on this course, on this track before. And he's been playing really well as of late. I think he's going to be a popular play here. Again, some analysts that I've been following are expecting him to finish in the top 10, top 20. Again, you could get him in the top 40 at plus money, plus 110, plus 100. Why not go for it?
Yeah, he's been working his way back in a lot over the like Dave said, the last 10 years he kind of like disappeared. So he's working his way back up there. So it would not be a surprise for sure. Good bet.
Keegan Bradley's a St. John's grad, right? Is that what I remember? Is he the right?
Is he
person?
really?
I feel like he's a local guy for me. St. John's down in the New York. New York is.
His aunt is Pat Bradley. His aunt was LPGA tour player.
Christina, you are always on brand. I'm just before we get to our last question, I know we want to sign off here, but Christina, you were giving your picks, and I gotta say I'm a little disappointed. I don't think you're going to do well this week, and it's not because of the analysis or the players you pick, but typically you always win when you go, I'm picking this person, but I don't like it. And when that's your mentality, you get the winner. But you seem confident in these picks, and that's not typically been your strong suit. So I just want to Thanks
for the observation, Brett. Thank you so much.
All right, but it is true. Wait, don't go anywhere, Brett. Let's end on this because I came across this article and this is kind of fun. This could be like, coffee talk conversation, or maybe you're going to watch the final round at a bar since, there are several people who are vaccinated now and you can go into indoor places. 5 things to know about this course. One is the movie Bagger Vance was filmed here. Did you know that?
That's a fun fact.
Right?
No, I did not know that.
Like the entire movie was filmed there. Like they didn't
I gotta rent it.
They didn't just like do a few scenes there and then went back to LA. Like the majority of the movie was filmed on this course. Cool.
I'm gonna watch it this weekend.
Number 2, it hosted the hardest PGA Championship round ever back in 2012, where there was like gale force winds that came in, and the average score on the second round was 78.
Wow, that's the year Rory won. Okay. Interesting.
All right. Third known fact, the 18th green lives in Ryder Cup lore. It was known in 1991 as the War at the Shore, where Bernard Langer missed that 6-foot putt to allow the Americans to win the Ryder Cup the first time they had done it in 8 years. So this is the course that happened.
Which is interesting because didn't Trey mention that, no, he's talking about Whistling Straits. Never mind. Continue.
2 more. The 4th is, as we know, this course designed by Pete Dye, but his wife, Alice, who's known as the first lady of the golf course, the first lady, she's the one who came up with the raised green surfaces. So even though this is a Pete Dye course, his wife definitely has a handprint in this course, and again, it earned her the title of First Lady of Golf.
Was she a golfer?
Yeah, she's been involved with a lot of the architecture design of a lot of the courses. Yeah, she's an incredible woman to read up on.
And also, if you recall, I mean, you and I were really young. Brett, you weren't even born yet. Christina, you and I were really young. Do you remember the Shell's Wonderful World of Golf each and every week? And they would highlight 2 golfers playing against one another. Well, back in 1996, Annika Sorensson took on Dottie Pepper on this course. And the matchup.
Wait, what year is this?
1996.
Okay, for the record, I was born before 1996. I was 7. I was 7, but I was alive.
I'm sorry, Brett.
I got married
Are you
like the
watching
next year.
Michelle's Wonderful World of Golf with Dottie Pepper taking on Annika Sorensson?
I gotta tell you, I couldn't pull my eyes away from the television when that was on.
That was my first memory.
Yeah, but she was my first crush, Annika Sorensson.
Anyway, just for some food for thought. Brett,
Good
we
facts.
so appreciate you. We appreciate Matt, who started the show, and happy birthday to your little girl, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Happy
Thea,
birthday.
my Thea Queen. She's 5 today. Got her
That's
new swing
fantastic.
set. Good stuff.
So happy birthday to her. And so just know how much we all appreciate you giving us this space, giving us this platform, talking about the PGA Tour. And we're really, really excited about this tournament and this major. So thank you so much, Brett. Appreciate you. Christina, you know I love you, girl. I love you.
Love you too, girl.
So you've got Rahm. I've got Hovland. And
did John give you any picks? Do we know who he likes?
And Trey has Kisner, right?
Yeah.
He likes Kisner. He likes Kisner to finish in the top 5. He's hoping that he wins. And David has Schauffele.
Schauffele, yeah. Okay.
So David has Schauffele. I have Hovland. You have Rahm, and Trey is rooting for Kevin Kisner not only to finish in the top 5, but maybe that hometown course, that hometown cooking is gonna.
Maybe he's going to be drinking some of that lovely lemonade that I had earlier in the show. Maybe that's what he needs.
Look, and that shit's gone. And so are we. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you missed any portion of the show, again, Trey Wingo was on with us about 30 minutes ago. You can, this will exist in, of course, that digital media space. You could watch it anytime. Enjoy the tournament.